Well, this is the start. Oh my, he's doing wheelies out there. The plow isn't doing great. The soil is so clay and so hard. So he got about halfway between where he and I are apart right now, and I heard a boom, so I didn't know if it was his tire or if it was a backfire, and his rear tire blew. Well, he started out the day. He's had to do about 6 different tests and adjustments on the plow itself, but we've got to get this done. This darker green that you see here, this is thistles, and this whole section of the field is super heavy with thistles. Like I said, they had gone to seed, they blew all over. I don't know what this weed is here, but I came through here with the disc last year, late summer, and I knocked it all down, but there was thistle in it, so it's reseeded itself into everything that I disced. Gotta get it plowed, gotta get it turned over, smother it out, and this is the start of the waterway. So he's gonna probably have to come back and change that tire. The one that I painted for him on the wheel, the ag tire on it was too tall. It sat so high up that it was not gonna have good clearance with the frame, and the rear part of the plow was not digging in as it should. But now that he's blown a tire, he's digging in too far, and then he ends up upwards, and I don't like that. That's not safe. So the neighbor just came out over there, asked him if she could have some rocks. Well, of course we're plowing, so they're, you know, going to be a little harder to find, but the area far, far up that way is the best place to find rocks. We're in a very rocky area, and we've done a lot of rock picking in this field over the years. But that far corner of the woods, it's up on a hill, and it just seems to kind of wash out and you find all the rocks. But I will tell you, let's go over here and go check out the new hay field. I'm going to show you a quick picture here. That's a picture after 3 days with just a slight rain. I think we got a 3 or a 4 hour light shower, and it is coming up. Here's another shot. That's the grass is starting to come up, and that hasn't had any additional rain. It's been in the 50s for the most part. Still cool at night. It was 38 when we came out today. Too cold to be out here without a coat, but that grass is starting to pop up, and we're not supposed to get a rain here for a little bit. It's really hard to see them just walking, but here's a grass or an oat coming up, and they look differently because some of them have a little bit of a purple stem to them, and then I think that is probably clover coming up. There's some shells on some oats that didn't go, but see right there, those are little oats coming up. What? No, little turkey. Those are little baby oats. No, George.
No,
Okay, move forward. All right, here's a little row of little baby oats coming up. There's a little grass coming up right here. Some more little things popping up right here. So everything's doing real good. It's coming. Little grass. Slowly, slowly. In a week, we're not supposed to have a rain until Sunday. So this is a week, 10 days since we planted. Coming up real good. Well, he's out here just before sunset. There's not much light left. It is after 9 p.m. And the day has been cold and cloudy and just enough wind to keep you cold. We're all wearing our winter coats today, and I realized he came out here with a light coat, and he's been plowing for probably 2 hours while I was working on a tank up at the house. I figured I better take a break and bring him a coat and a winter hat. Every extra pass you can get in when you're on a job like this, it helps. We had quite a slowdown in the afternoon with that tire blowout, and then he had a fuel delivery to take care of. So as soon as he was done with that, I went to the store and got him an inner tube. He found a tire in the shop, and it was just the oddest size. It was a 195 75 15. We've been rather fortunate. The old Buick has the same size tires as most of our farm implements. The tires fit the sickle bar mower, they fit the hay elevator. I saw you doing a wheelie!
In our whole life. So
tougher than the South Field?
Oh, 10 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I finished my tank job.
There's no weights on the front.
Yeah.
So when you get into it, you just...
That's rough.
Huh?
You're gonna be hurt.
No.
Getting out of tomorrow sucks.
When you get up there, front end of the tractor's up like this, because when you lift the 3-point to try to get out of it, if you're 1 second behind,
yeah,
it makes it worse. And if you,
I saw ya.
The clay's so tough, if you lift the front up a little bit too much, the back, that's why I had to weld that on there, that little piece,
yeah,
to create suction. The plow is worn out enough, it tries to hop up out of the clay, so it's just, it takes all your tricks. But
he probably did about, what, 6 test strips today before you got it going? Because of that shin being worn out?
No. Well, my tire blew up, and then after that it was fine. So.
Sorry, I just realized I was standing right next to that engine.
But tire's great.
Good.
New tube.
Well, the ag tire was too high. It was hitting the upper frame there, and so we had to swap it back.
No.
Oh, it was nearly hitting. And it was help making him not dig in.
Well, what happened was, I didn't realize that the back of these plows is enough different that I took this stop right out.
Yeah.
And it actually hits up on this. But I had that hitting right here, and it still wasn't enough clearance, so we had to put the crappy tire on. I didn't want anything to do with the tire because it looked like it had about a day left. And it blew up.
Yeah.
So I plowed a round or two until that one guy came with a flat tire, but
yeah,
whatever.
But he said these pieces that he added here are helping it turn over a lot better. You've lost all your tape now.
I did that.
Oh.
That clay is so tough.
Yeah.
This is spring steel, and the clay is taking these and flexing them.
Huh.
It's just ridiculous.
But sticking to them too.
That's because I had tape. There's still probably tape here.
Yeah.
And
but look at how shiny and nice they are. I told him I'd like him to take the older plow that we're going to get rid of and run it through the dirt to shine it up because it's such a huge difference.
So as you go east and closer to the river,
yeah,
the clay gets worse. So if you go over there and see it's plowing perfectly straight, no problem. The clay is looking, you can see it right here.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is
a different color.
See that piece I welded on to create suction?
Uh-huh.
It's kind of an exaggerated version of a new point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with those two.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only reason that this plow, there's no weight. It might have been better to use like a mounted 3-bottom to force the back of the back of the tractor, but
it's got a bad trip. It's not serviced yet.
Yeah. So I'm using this one, but
with all of our service jobs, we haven't gotten to that one.
That's free. If I do that on all of them, it'll pull the plow right down in the clay, and then be fine.
Okay.
So, but as you get over to the road, it's much more mellow.
Okay. I saw there was some thistle and some burdock right where we come in at the end of the waterway, and I thought we better keep the weed whack down to prevent another future problem.
When it's a hay field, you can't, you're clipping it off and cutting it before you can ever get any seed going. It's really fine.
Well, it got into all this and seeded itself before.
It's going on.
Yeah. Well, and there's a PBS video called Goats Eat Weeds, and they talk about the progression and the cycles of different weeds. So, like a couple of years ago, wild sunflowers were really bad. Bee balm was really invasive at one point, so they said don't plant it in your gardens and everything, and it's great for bees. So the last year and a little bit the year before, I saw some bee balm. In the last 2 years, we had tremendous burdock and thistles, but less burdock last year. So it's an interesting video.
Well, none now.
None. they're all plowed down. I did notice one section, and it must be where you started, where there's a row of like some weeds growing.
Is it over in there?
I don't know.
It's probably my back furrow.
Okay.
So where you start.
Yeah.
And
I wondered if it was like a starter strip.
I didn't get it perfect.
Like it got laid on and not plowed back over the opposite way, maybe.
Could be.
It's not bad, but
Well, as soon as it gets...
you can notice it because the seeds are so small still.
We have no weeds in our
Yeah.
hay field because we just keep cutting it. They can't ever get it.
Yep. If he sees a weed, he goes out and gets it. At the end of this waterway, last year there was some thistle, and we went right out there with the manual old-fashioned weed whackers, and we knocked them down.
Way over there on the other road, we had like 20 milkweeds.
Yeah.
In a low spot, in wet, and I made sure they all kind of, I did it funny and made sure they all kind of got in like 2 bales.
Yeah, and they stayed wet.
We fed it, and they absolutely loved it, and when I clipped them, and baled them, they never came back. And then across the creek over there, we had a little section of mustard one year. And I went over and cut it, and it never came back again. So
Okay.
we just got eaten up in a bale.
Betsy's been picking some mustard for us here and there. I don't know where she's getting it.
There was a mustard plant over in there just now. Just one. But other than that, this is all basically rye stubble.
Yeah.
Because it was oats, then rye.
Well, and then I just it down.
And then we just did rye. So oats and rye. No spray, nothing. So
yeah. Pretty good.
No weeds here.
Nope. All right.
Perfect. Yeah, but yeah, there was this a couple of thistles up there by the road.
Yeah.
And then they went away. We cut them and...
Yep. Well, I just noticed there was a bunch in the ditch, and I thought, better keep an eye on that situation. Okay, well, it's getting dark. You're losing your light. You got to make sure you don't hit a fence post on your way out or something. Yeah?
The grain hopper needs to be covered. I think I forgot it.
Oh.
So I'll come up.
All right.
But the coat will get me back. I'll get home.
Yeah. Well, I went in to finish, and I saw it sitting there. I'll take that.
I'll do one more.
Nah, you're gonna.
And
The trouble is, you can go that way, but then coming back, you're not gonna be able to see.
I don't have any lights on this one, but
Yeah.
one more at a time.
Okay.
Be right back.
Betsy's learning how to drive a tractor. Little 6-year-old girl. We're in the far north part of the field. Trying to get a little more work done before sunset. You got all this plowed today. This is a upper real hard clay section. It's really rocky. So he came out here with the plow today and he wanted to get right after it. He is disking and color packing at the same time for this field to help break it up. He's gone through this area once, but he said it's so bad he'd like to do it a second time. But that sunset tells me it's time to end the day. I brought him out a coffee and said, why don't you come back for dinner? up here last night as he was finishing, and George had to have a ride for a few passes, and I said to her, you never get a ride. So tonight we were able to sneak over without George, just to bring Dad a coffee and say hi. She wanted to go for a walk in the woods, so we did that. And now she's getting to drive. Okay, I was out here earlier and I didn't have my phone with me or a camera. And now walking back, I got lucky because the sun is shining and I had both. Look at this. Those are rows of oats. See that? There. Rows and rows of oats. They are growing. This is 11 days with only a single rain and lots of sunshine. It's going to be cold for the next couple of days, so it should still be good growing weather for them. But little seeds are popping up. There's other things here. Looks like maybe some clover. It's looking good. Lots of little plants. Every now and then you'll see a stem. It's a little bit different, a little darker. So we're seeing the start of some grass and some oats. Little bunny. Where'd the other guys go? I just walked through here and I just about stepped on some babies. Their mom just ran off. Oh, there's one. There's one here. And that one there, but I know you can't see it. Oh, look at that. They're very brave. I don't know if a woodchuck will hurt them or eat them, but I've seen a woodchuck around here too. A woodchuck hole right by that door, and his mom just ran off that way. And a good hiding spot. And come here and eat all this nice green oats that are sprouting and rye. I don't know if you guys can see this hitting the windshield. It's the next day and I decided to bring him up lunch. It is snowing. It got to be 35, 36 degrees last night. Way too cold. He's out here freezing. He wanted to do some soil moving. He had never finished doing his waterway contouring. There was a little more work that he wanted to get done on it. Since he didn't quite have it the way he wanted to, he decided he better get it done. Otherwise he was going to have to live with it forever. He's changed some other little areas here and there. But I thought he might like to sit in the truck and get warm for a little. I looked in the past at a heat houser for him. And it kind of is a canvas tarp system that goes around the sides of the tractor and helps reflect some of that heat off of there to the open station where the tractor operator sits. Gives you a little more comfort when it's so cold. My comfort is sitting here in the drafty old Dodge today. I figured it was too cold to walk out here and I have to go buy some milk anyway, so I might as well let him warm up. The field's coming along really nice when you can see through my windshield. Bethy went through quite a bit yesterday and hit some more areas with the disc and the cultipacker again. But it was getting dark. It was already after 8 o'clock and it's been basically dark at about 8:40. pitch black at about 9:15. I hope he's not out of coffee because I didn't bring more. I brought hot soup and a toasted roast beef sandwich. And see that? I even put it in a baggie for him. And I found him a nice thermos in the cabinet too. Alright, I'm being the farm work field helper today. He's out there with the planter. I let him get a head start so I could get George into a nap. I'm going to run the 720, and I don't think I've ever ran this one before. He apparently has confidence in me. He had me pull start it. I was on the starting end this time. So I'm going to go out there to the field, hope I don't hit the post on the way out, and then I'll start doing the culti-packing. This one's a bit different. The transmission in this one is quite a bit different than what I'm used to, but I'll manage. I'm gonna park you guys right there. And lunch. Take a break off. field twice, going along the headlands and everything else. He got a good head start. And the other day, we had some cloudy weather and a little bit of rain. We went all the way through here and we reclaimed the whole edge of the woods and the field. We trimmed back everything that was growing over. We had a pole saw that quit within a year of us owning it, but because we bought it under our company, Husqvarna wouldn't honor their warranty because they said it was for commercial use. So keep that in mind if you ever buy something like that for your farm. You can put it in your own personal name instead of your farm name and get the full warranty, because that was kind of a joke. We sent it in to have it repaired. The guy who tore it apart quit the job, actually quit his job at his employer, and nobody had even looked at it for 3 weeks. So the whole time we've been waiting for it to come back, they slapped it back together, broke something else while they were doing it, and now we can't quite figure out what they did. So he got some part for it off of eBay, put it in, it like shorted out, he heard it snapping or something, so we've got to try it again. But in the meantime, we were able to use my new Husqvarna saw. It came in great use, and because it was light, we were still able to like stand on the top of the truck and in the truck bed so that we could get everything trimmed back. I'm surprised at how dusty everything is. We're 3 days out from a rain. But you can see as he's working how much dust is flying up, and I noticed that my camera was getting covered in dust. So I actually turned it off to quit filming because I didn't want the lens getting all scratched up with dust. So I'm going to store it in my pocket while I do the rest of the work. But I just wanted to kind of show you how things were coming. About 5 days since we have been out here to the field and did our huge planting and cult packing day. We were able to get the entire field done before dark, and I was so pleased. We still had a couple of hours left of daylight at the end of all that. So I'm going to show you how our growth is coming here. After about 3 days, we started seeing, of course, the clover and the alfalfa popping up. And now it's been 5 days, and now all the oats are popping up. I have got regular rows coming here. Look at that. That is all a green row. So that's pretty good. Really good. And there's tiny little plants growing up right next to it of the clover and alfalfa. So this field is taking really good. Our area had a 48-hour flood warning going on, and we're right on the banks of the Grand River, so everything that we get west of us runs through our farm and to the Grand River. So we really did a lot of contouring right through here in the last 2 years because we had quite a sink bowl here that would hold water. He just went through this area of the field with his soil mover, contoured like crazy so that water would go and naturally run towards that waterway. Now we checked through this whole area the day after the heavy rain, which is 2 days ago now. The waters have all gone down. The creek isn't overflowing like it was, but the county put a road culvert right where our waterway is, and that waterway stayed pretty dry. The neighbors had put an underground drain system at some point that spills out into a creek going through our woods, and all of this stayed dry. We didn't get any washout. It's holding, it's growing, it's wonderful. A lot of farmers in our area aren't near as lucky. They have standing water. We haven't had to go through and do a bunch of drain tile repairs. We have 2 spots in our other hayfield that do need some repair done soon. As soon as we get caught up on some other projects, with that backhoe going, we can get to that and fix that. We've had to fix it by hand before. It was a huge job. So it'll be nice to go out there with the backhoe and get it fixed. in a much shorter amount of time, and instead of it being a 3-day digging up and repairing job. So this is the hayfield, everybody. We'll show you progression throughout the summer. We'll show you when we get our first cutting. We'll always keep you up to date. Hit that little thumbs up button and the little notification bell, and that'll keep you up to date when the next video comes out. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.